SciTube is an initiative to make learning psychology interesting, exciting, and easier. SciTube promotes learning psychology through the relevant original experiments that resulted in the theories. The videos also sensitize the learners about the relevance of the theories in contemporary times.
Concept: Gestalt. Experimental setup: Wertheimer's Phi Phenomenon, Gestalt psychology. The Phi Phenomenon was demonstrated by Max Wertheimer, a German psychologist and one of the founders of Gestalt psychology, in 1912. The experiment emerged during Wertheimer's interest in understanding how humans perceive motion, especially when motion is not physically present. At the time, psychology was dominated by structuralism, which attempted to explain perception by breaking it into individual sensory elements. Wertheimer questioned this reductionist approach. His purpose was to examine whether perception could be explained simply as a sum of sensations, or whether the mind actively organizes sensory input into meaningful wholes. The motive behind the experiment was to challenge elementarism and establish the Gestalt principle that the whole is different from the sum of its parts. Action in the experiment. In the experiment, Wertheimer used a tachistoscope, a device that allowed him to present visual stimuli for very brief durations. Participants were shown to stationary lines or lights placed a short distance apart, flashed alternately at controlled time intervals. When the lights were shown slowly, observers perceived two separate flashes. When the interval was extremely short, they appeared simultaneous. However, at a specific intermediate timing, participants reported something unusual. They perceived smooth movement between the two lights, even though nothing actually moved. This illusion of motion, created purely by timing and spatial arrangement, became known as the Phi phenomenon. Prime observations and conclusions. Wertheimer observed that motion perception could arise without any actual moving stimulus. The brain did not merely register individual flashes of light. Instead, it organized them into a meaningful experience of movement. This led to a major conclusion. Perception is actively constructed by the mind, not passively received. The experience of motion could not be explained by adding sensations together, directly contradicting structuralist assumptions. These findings became the foundation of Gestalt psychology, emphasizing perceptual organization, patterns, and wholes, inferences, and contemporary relevance. The Phi phenomenon has profound relevance today. It explains the basic principle behind films, animations, digital screens, and motion graphics, where still images create the illusion of movement. In psychology, it influenced modern cognitive science, visual perception, and neuroscience. In applied fields such as UI/UX design, advertising, and virtual reality, understanding perceived motion is crucial. Wertheimer's work continues to remind us that the human mind seeks meaning, structure, and patterns, reinforcing the Gestalt insight that how we perceive matters more than what is physically presented.
If you think the video made learning psychology easier, like, comment, share, and subscribe.